It is a cop's job to protect citizens, serve the public, and ensure people feel safe. But what happens when they lose sight of that duty and let their egos take over? In some cases, overconfident cops have mistreated innocent people, only for it to blow up in their faces. Here are compelling stories of officers who overstepped their authority, treated law-abiding citizens like criminals, and ultimately had their actions backfire in unexpected ways. Some cops seem to see every situation as an opportunity to inflate their egos. Imagine for a moment. A man sits quietly in his car, which is parked. He is minding his own business when a police officer approaches his vehicle. Rather than a formal greeting or explanation, the cop simply barked out a demand that the man produce his driver's license. Convinced he hadn't committed any traffic infractions, he was well aware that he was under no obligation to provide his ID. So, he stood his ground and refused.
I'm
not going to ask any questions. Before we start, can I get your name and badge number?
Davenport 519.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so here's where we're at.
Uh-huh.
In New Jersey, or
Yes.
any state, you have to provide your name and information during an investigation or even a motor vehicle stop, okay?
Okay.
I know the RO of the cars. That's all I'm trying to confirm is that's who you are, so we can get out of here.
So you said in an investigation I have to legally provide my name?
Yes.
And if I consult my attorney, they'd say the same?
Correct.
And that's not true. Do you suspect me of committing a crime? Let's start with that. RAS. We need RAS, right? Okay. RAS, reasonable articulable suspicion of a crime. Do you suspect me of committing a crime? Did someone call and specifically say that I committed a crime? I'm just asking
Specifically, what crime would that be?
You tell me. You were here. Someone called you for me.
Stating that you were sitting out in front of the house.
Correct.
For several hours.
Is that a
That's
crime?
What we're just trying to find out what's going on because we had a house in this area that
has nothing to do with me. Is that a crime?
I can't associate that. All I'm trying to do is get you out of here so we all can go about our way.
But do I have a Fourth Amendment right? Can you answer that?
This refusal sat ill with the officer. Changing tactics, the policeman said that this man was part of an investigation and that he had to identify himself. Of course, the policeman made this up on the spot, probably because he felt frustrated. If indeed there was an investigation, the policeman would have told what it was about. But he didn't, which makes it pretty obvious this was a weak attempt to intimidate the man into acceding. The man coolly explained that unless there was a crime being committed, he didn't need to show his identification. And the officer didn't give way and said, "I don't know whether you have committed a crime or not." And that's the whole point of reasonable suspicion. The problem is that the officer's case relies on assumptions. There was no particular reason to believe that the man was doing something illegal. The cop then explained that he had received a call that someone was sitting in a car in front of a house, looking to explain his reasoning for being where he was. Yet, sitting on a public street in front of a house wouldn't seem to be a problem if they weren't causing any problems. Almost as if he had unearthed some high-profile criminal, the cop was almost drooling. Well, things were hardly going to wrap up in the way the cop would have expected.
What would that be, Tim?
You tell me. You're the officer. You know what a Fourth Amendment is,
saying this
right?
doesn't violate that Fourth
It
Amendment.
does.
Right.
No, if you force me to identify, it does.
Well, because you're driving a motor vehicle.
I'm not driving a motor vehicle. My vehicle is parked.
So you're still occupying a motor vehicle.
I can occupy a motor parked vehicle. I can operate, but I'm not.
Operate, but it still is the same.
It's not the same.
You have the right to operate it.
Okay.
On a public street.
But can I commit a moving violation while parking?
No, but you can't commit a parking violation.
So, am I committing a parking violation?
I don't know yet because I don't know if you're the registered owner of this
I'm
vehicle.
going to invoke my Fifth Amendment right.
I don't know if you have a driver's license.
I'm going to invoke my Fifth Amendment right to remain silent without a lawyer present to answer any questions.
While remaining silent?
Sure.
While remaining silent?
Sure.
I just need you to provide me your proper driving documentation.
I'm not going to provide any documents since I didn't break any
Definitely
laws.
have to provide a
I'm
driver's
not going to
license,
provide any documents since I didn't break any
registration, and
laws.
insurance for the vehicle.
At this point in time, I'm going to remain silent.
Okay. We're kind of impasse here, and I'm trying to make this as easy for everybody as possible. I get your frustration. I get it. I'm at the same level.
Listen,
honestly.
the next step is litigation if you violate my rights. And on the oath, you're going to have to answer these questions. in front of a jury, okay? I'm not gonna ask any questions moving forward.
The man and cop continued arguing, insisting the man provide identification because he was involved in an investigation. The man, confident of his rights, pointed out that under law, he only needed to provide ID if there was reasonable suspicion of a crime, which wasn't the case here. The officer was clearly irritated, stating that that was irrelevant. He still needed the license, no crime apparent or otherwise. Even the policeman started jumbling up legal principles, stating that since the man was inside a vehicle, he needs to display identification. But the man didn't own a car. His was parked. And yet, the policeman continued saying that by just sitting in the car, the man was subjecting himself to the same law as if he were driving, and therefore made no sense. The man did not back down. He invoked the Fifth Amendment and requested an officer's supervisor. Ironically, the cop told him that he was the supervisor. It felt fishy. This had to be someone's boss, after all. The attitude of the cop suggested that he felt that no one held any kind of authority over him. Another officer came to the scene, but instead of diffusing the situation, he was supportive of the first. He also demanded to see the ID of the man. He reasoned that once police demand identification, citizens must oblige. Actually, this was legal wrongness, since citizens are only legally allowed to demand to present identification only if the officer holds a legitimate belief that a crime is being committed. A chance of relieving the frustration remained unhatched, as the policeman demanded identification without apparent cause for their request.
Frustration. I get it. I'm at the same level.
Listen,
honestly.
the next step is litigation if you violate my rights. And on the oath, you're gonna have to answer these questions in front of a jury, okay? I'm not gonna ask any questions moving forward, okay? I invoke my Fifth Amendment right to remain silent
So let me
without
get
the
this
presence
straight.
of an
You're
attorney.
not going to provide a driver's license, registration, or
Do you suspect me of committing a crime or a moving violation?
I can't determine that.
So
I
then the
determine
answer is no.
if your driver's license is
Do
valid.
you suspect me of committing a
You're saying
crime
that. I
or a
can't
moving
guarantee that
violation?
until I can provide the documentation.
Do you suspect me of committing a crime or a moving violation? Yes or no?
I don't know yet.
So you don't know.
No,
So
because I can't provide
do your
documentation.
investigation. Talk to whoever you have to talk to.
Which we have. And the final
your.
step here is
What
to
did
make sure
they
you have a
say?
valid license.
No, you don't get to go on the place determining who.
I do, because you
I'm
got
not
here
even going to
somehow.
speak anymore.
You
Did
got-
you
you
see
got
me?
these points,
Did you
right?
see me arrive here?
Huh?
Did you see me drive
The
here?
neighbors did.
But did you? Are they police
I didn't need
officers?
to. It doesn't matter.
All right, listen.
You got here somehow, right?
Supervisor, please.
I am. It's right here.
You're a
That's why I'm here.
supervisor, please.
Yes.
You're a supervisor.
No, that's it. This is me.
Fifth Amendment.
Okay.
Invoke my fifth. Call number, card number,
Yeah,
incident number, whatever you guys call it.
you'll be able to. We'll give it to you.
Can I get it now?
You can get it now.
Yes, please. Thank you. I appreciate
Can I
it.
get your ID?
No, sir.
This vehicle. Right. That's why I'm here. in
But
the
no
first
crime though. Just a suspicious person.
Right,
No
and
crime.
that's what we're figuring out.
But no crime though. Just a
Right,
suspicious
right now
person.
there's no crime.
Okay,
Correct.
good. Thank you very much. I'm gonna help you, man.
Okay, but
Brown
just
v.
so you would,
Texas. Brown v.
just
Texas.
okay, just so you're aware,
Yes, sir.
when I do that,
Yes.
I write it down. It goes in our system,
Yes.
and that's it.
Nope.
There's no reason for you to even have a CAD number because
There
we're not
is.
going to have your information to put in there, and she's not going to give it to you without you verifying who you are.
This is public information, sir.
Okay.
Yep. I've done thousands of public records with Oprah requests, okay? This is
Okay.
public information.
All right.
I know exactly how this works, okay? So
Sounds good.
I'm not ignorant.
All right.
Just seeing the officer power was just funny, bro. He's acting like a kid. But if y'all want to see the full interaction of this video, it's on my YouTube page at BPcast, or just go to my bio, click on the link, and go check it out.
The man remained calm and asked whether they suspected him to have committed some crime. The response of the policeman was vague and ambiguous. He claimed that he did not know yet. That was no reason to persecute him further. At every turn that the man pointed out to them that they did not have any legal basis for demanding his documents of identity, The policeman turned around and disagreed with him, but based on no valid legal grounds. Despite the threats by the police officers, the man still refused to move, insisting that he knew his rights. He kept on stating his rights and demanded to be issued with an incident or case number, which they finally agreed on. Throughout, the man had made it clear that in case they violated his rights, they'd answer to that in the court. This really highlights how some cops allow their position to cloud their judgment, yielding to selfish ego rather than to the basic legal rights afforded to others. The man had definitely done nothing wrong, but the cops continued to try to intimidate and bully him into doing as they pleased. His calm nature and unwillingness to back down was his rescue from unlawful arrest or further escalation. It was a shame for the law enforcement to actually betray such an embarrassment in the overreach. It puts everyone in a memory of a time when police are created to protect and serve, but also forget how to do so when their egos get in the way. Most citizens find themselves in situations where the rights of the masses are turned a blind eye because the desire of one person to showcase their own authority without any justification is the question. Now, compare this to this case in which a cop seemed to be thirsty for an opportunity to assert his dominance over a man just doing his thing. The cop asked the man for his ID, which he refused. The cop then told him he could not leave and was being detained. Of course, the man was confused and asked why, but the cop merely muttered something that he would explain later. It seemed like even the policeman did not know how to explain his behavior and needed some time to think of a justification. The man was not giving up. He was pushing the officer for a clear reason.
Can you tell me your name?
I don't answer questions.
All right, well, right now you can't leave me for that. Just hold on 1 second.
Why?
I will tell you in a second.
Hold on. Am I detained?
Yes, you are.
What reason am I detained?
I answered one question. So
What
if you
reason
want to answer
am I
question, you can go back and forth now.
What reason is I
without saying,
detained?
I'm not going to answer a question.
Listen,
I asked you
you
one
work
question.
for me.
Well, I'm sorry. When I
You
got
work
out the
for
car,
me.
your
What-
immediate
what-
words were, I'm not answering questions. As I
No,
walked
not
across the
not
street,
what.
As I walked across the street, you said again, I'm not answering questions. So
Okay.
I got here.
Go
I
ahead.
asked you what your name
Go
was. You
ahead
said,
with
I'm not answering questions.
Go
But you
ahead
asked
with your
me,
investigation.
you asked me, were you detained? I said, yes, sir.
Okay.
You asked me why. I said, hold on. Which I'm still going to answer your question. No, you're not answering mine.
You have to answer it right away.
We actually don't give you, but it's for the coalition. Okay. It's going to be who you said it was going to be. It's not God's thing. But it does got to be. Because he's doing the same thing to you that you did.
Instead, an explanation. The cop said he was not legally bound to give one, which is wrong. As a public servant, a police officer is part of their job to explain to the public their questioning. Yet, rather than answering the man, the cop started chatting on his cell phone, laughing and seemingly happy, when the man stood waiting for an explanation. He didn't care if it was because the officer had time, but the man didn't. Only after the man waited for the cop to get done with his call did he again demand an explanation. On this occasion, the officer moved to a threatening tone and began to hint that the man was overstaying his limits by asking too many questions, which was somehow as if there was a limit to how many questions any citizen can ask a public servant. When the man asked, "Am I detained?" the cop confirmed he was. He still refused to give a reason. Every time the man asked for the reason why he was detained, the officer refused to answer his question or told him that he would also soon find out. Finally, the officer threatened the man that if he continued asking for reasons why he was detained, he would be handcuffed. The scene became dramatic, with the man not losing his cool and calmly standing his ground, as opposed to the officer playing the role of the tough cop. He even attempted to allege that a man was obstructing the police because he was not answering his questions by threatening him with obstruction charges.
Am I free to go?
No, you're not.
Why? Why? What am I?
So now, there's two questions
what
I've
am
answered
I
for you. You haven't answered anything.
What am I detained for? What am I detained for? What am I detained for?
I'm going to answer the third question, but when I answer the
What
third question,
am I detained for?
the answer to the third question is going to require me to put these handcuffs on you.
Go ahead then.
Okay.
Go ahead. Please, go ahead.
Well, that will require you putting your phone down, so a lot of it would have to happen for me to do that.
What am I being detained for?
Well, you tell me why you're not answering my question.
Are you going to answer me again?
I've answered two. I've answered two of yours.
What am I being
answered two of
detained
yours. That
for?
one is the third one.
I don't have to talk to you.
Yes.
The man knew his rights. He invoked the Fifth Amendment, explaining that he wasn't obligated to speak. The officer either didn't understand or chose to ignore the fact that simply refusing to answer questions doesn't qualify as obstruction, which requires actual interference with police duties.
I refuse to talk to you.
Now I'm answering the third question.
And
let me go ahead and explain.
I invoke my Fifth Amendment right.
Let me go ahead and explain the answer to my question that you asked me. Hey, when we're called to do an investigation, and whoever gave the information about us coming to do the investigation gets here, and I question what they presented to me, you are in an active investigation. Now, here's how that works. If you choose not to answer me, that's fair. That's obstruction. If I ask you another question, you still haven't answered, we're still under obstruction. You can't go because I'm doing an investigation about something that transpired. That's three. Now, I've answered three questions. Now we put six all together. Now, yes, you are detained. Absolutely. You are not free to go. We're at a tier 2.
Go ahead with your investigation.
All right, thank you. So the further investigation, we're just gonna sit tight till verification comes.
No problem.
When tensions had escalated, the cop's supervisor finally arrived. One might expect the supervisor to de-escalate things, but instead, things only continued to escalate. The supervisor said that the man was being detained because he allegedly broke into a store. But the supervisor contradicted himself when he said the man wasn't being arrested, but should rather regard this as a warning. Neither the officer nor the supervisor had any reasonable cause to detain the man. The series of questions and answer crossed, with the supervisor attempting to describe the detainment as a process of investigation, however, never to have them give a true evidence or explanation.
Thank you. In a police department. That is my supervisor, Sergeant A. Battle.
You should
North
have.
County Police Department. He is
You should have continued that
my
when
actions.
you called.
He's going to take the time to confirm my actions for detaining you at a tier 2.
Okay. What's your name, sir?
I don't answer questions.
You don't answer questions, so I can explain to you. I'm Sergeant Battle. So you were just up into the Family Dollar right here with the store floor. So what's going to happen is he's going to detain you, and you're going to go back up here where you're going to be criminal trespass from the store. At this moment, don't do that. We're not trying to hurt you. So what? You're not under arrest. You're just being detained at this time. Okay.
So I think what happened was he was going through your bag. He laid him right here on the grill. But we forgot to get him off the grill and just took the bag.
And so
because the most important thing was in the bag.
So you just.
So then when you pulled off, not remembering that we left him up here, we turned around, they still.
As the ordeal prolonged, the policeman frequently shifted between vagueness in accusations and direct threats, apparently trying to discover anything that would serve as justification for such actions. It must have been quite an uphill struggle for this man, who was trying to be clear about answers and to exercise rights, when he was met by intimidation and confusion instead of transparency and fair treatment. By the end of the confrontation, the man's persistence was rewarded, but also made notorious that, in some instances, authorities put citizens through such pressure to comply, though they have no legal basis to do so. Now, let's take another situation, whereby a cop appeared to be nervous when a man recorded him. Because nothing provokes certain officers' ire as much as someone with a camera, and, therefore, presumably knows their rights. This cop was on his night patrol when he encountered a man walking on the street and filming. The cop promptly directed him off the street, telling him he was obstructing traffic. It was irony that the commotion was indeed caused by his own car, which he parked in the middle of the street.
What's up?
What are you doing, bro?
I'm recording. What's up?
Why are you in the middle of the street? You're not supposed to be in the middle of the street obstructing traffic.
Why are you in the middle of the street?
Because I can park and I'm driving a car in the middle of the street. I'm supposed to be walking.
What's your name and badge number?
If you're step away from the freaking scene, it's a scene
What's
right
your,
now.
bro, I'm walking down the
I'll
neighborhood.
tell you right now, you're in the middle of a scene right now. Step
What's
away
your name
from
and
the
badge
car.
number?
When I tell you, get it.
Is this a, are you gonna take me to jail?
I'm gonna take you to jail. You don't stupid what I'm telling you.
All right, come on, come over here. This is a residential street.
Bubble, it's a street. Whether it's residential or commercial, it doesn't matter. You're not supposed to be walking
Yes,
around
I
the street.
can.
I'm telling you right now,
Yes, I
it's a
can.
middle of investigation. I told you to leave.
I'm not. Am I interfering?
Yes, you are.
How am I interfering, bro?
Bro, you can't be around my investigation right now. You can stay for, you record from the sidewalk. That's a right of way.
Is that a lawful order?
I'm telling you right now.
Tell me on camera. If I don't move there, you're gonna arrest me.
I'm telling you right now, you're obstructing my investigation.
What is your name and badge number? You're sitting in the car, bro.
I know. I'm preserving the scene right here.
Okay,
bro.
I'm recording. See what's going on with you guys. What's
You're
wrong with
recording
that?
into cars, bro.
Is that illegal?
They're supposed to be. I don't understand. I asked you a question.
I'm
What is it?
recording. I'm recording you guys.
You're recording the cars.
It doesn't
inside the
matter.
cars.
Is that illegal, bro? Do you want to go that route, bro?
It's suspicious.
Do you want to go that route with me?
It's suspicious. Don't play.
Is
this game with
suspicious
the-
a misdemeanor or a felony?
Suspicion? You have to.
Come on, Bobby. What is your name and badge number, bro? You're giving me unlawful orders and directives for no reason. I live in this neighborhood, bro. I want to have the right to rock here in the street.
Officer Borges.
So if I don't move right here, are you going to arrest me? Say it on camera.
Listen to me. I'm telling you to get out of the street. I
Are
don't
you
want to get
asking
hurt.
me?
I'm just telling you, get out of the street.
Okay, Bobby, if you're asking me if it's not lawful, I'm gonna decline the ask, bro. I'm gonna keep walking, bro.
I'm telling you,
Bobby, I'm not bothering nobody.
Bubba, you're looking into cars with your camera,
But
bro.
is that illegal?
That's why I'm asking you. What are you doing?
Who pays for these cars, dude?
The taxpayers do.
Okay, I'm a taxpayer.
And so am I.
Okay, you're a welfare recipient, bro.
I'm not a
Period.
welfare recipient.
No, who pays your paycheck?
I do, and you do too.
Okay, so that's it.
I'm not a
I don't
welfare
come here for
recipient.
this.
Where are you getting this welfare recipient thing?
What are you talking about?
What
Do
is
your
that?
research, dude. Do your research, bro. Do your research. Where does your taxes come from? It comes. Okay, how do you get your paycheck? Through us.
Me too. I pay taxes too, kid.
Bobby, well, where do you get your money from?
I get it from the county.
Hey, where does the county get it from? From the taxpayers, dude.
Some of it gets from the taxpayers.
Okay, but listen, bro. Just keep doing what you're doing. Get back to work. I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing. I'm gonna get to
When he mentioned this, the cop said that since he was a cop, he could park anywhere he pleased. It is always astonishing that some officers seem to operate under a different set of rules, as if they are above the law, creating their own rule book. As the man quietly explained, he had the right, under law, to tape from public space. The cop changed his stance and complained that the man was obstructing an active, important investigation. But it did not take too long to realize that no investigation was going on. The policeman was just sitting in his car, probably killing time. This threat of hindering an investigation felt like an excuse to waive some authority over the situation. The conversation continued with the policeman trying to assert his power. The man asked him to know why he was being questioned and whether he had violated any laws. As the man persisted in filming, instead of giving a straight answer, the cop kept justifying his action with one reason after another, saying that his actions, including filming, were not illegal, while specifically asking for the officer's name and badge number. The cop, visibly frustrated by this point, shifts from accusing the man of being some kind of traffic obstruction to labeling his filming as suspicious. When the man asked what law he was breaking, the cop could only stumble for some kind of justification, admitting that the man hadn't committed any crime, but still insisting that he leave.
whatever you're telling me is unlawful, dude.
Maybe that's unlawful.
Bobby, what law am I breaking?
I'm asking you a question. I'm not telling you, bro. I'm not telling you.
Bro,
you're
you're just threatening my freedom, bro.
Bro, I didn't threaten anything.
You just told me you were gonna arrest me.
That's what you said.
It's on camera.
Bro, you said that. I didn't.
That's why I moved here.
Not to freaking be in the middle of the street.
Oh, Bobby, I'm walking around the cars. This car's parked in the middle of the road, and I live in this neighborhood. I have the right to walk on this street here. This is a residential neighborhood. This is not a busy road. This is not 40th Street.
Doesn't matter if it's 40th Street or
All right.
Busy Road.
But you just threatened me with arrest because I'm looking in the vehicles and I can walk through here all I
You
want.
felt threatened for no reason.
You just threatened my freedom right
I
there.
didn't threaten anything.
You just
felt
said you were
threatened.
going to take me to jail.
I said to get out of the streets.
Well, I'm not getting out. Unless it's a lawful order. You don't have authority over me unless I'm arrested lawfully.
No, but why did you even go there? I'm not even trying to.
You're the one who went there. Who caught whose attention here?
You're walking into court.
But I didn't even mess with you. I'm doing it right now. Look, I can do it right now, bro. I can do that. It's not law. It's not breaking the law.
I'm just asking you a question.
Okay,
Why-
Bobby. And I just told you what I'm doing.
Bubba, here's the thing is, why do you gotta take it to that level? Which I'm telling you.
You took it to that other level. You escalated.
I didn't have.
That is when things got spiced up, when the policeman threatened to arrest him. The man asked hastily for clarification. "Are you really going to arrest me for this?" The policeman corrected himself and resolved to walk it back, though that he was not threatening him but rather making a very great effort to make his orders sound like some sort of legalistic formula or just procedure. The man was not falling for it, and was quick to point out how absurd it had all gotten. Then the conversation took this weirdly back and forth turn over who pays taxes and who funds the police. He pointed out that both he and the cop were taxpayers, by which one could then stretch to say the cop was being paid by the public, including himself. The cop, trying to belittle the man, called him a welfare recipient, a term which didn't make much sense but demonstrates the level of disrespect and power dynamic the officer was trying to push.
I like to look in our vehicles. I like to watch you guys while you guys are working on the dime, bro. That's not illegal. It's our First Amendment.
I agree.
That's it.
I never.
Bro, you're looking bad right now. You can just go on the internet, dude. I know I can. If you would have ignored me, I wouldn't have said a word to you.
I didn't want. Why would I want to ignore you?
Bobby, did you just call my name out there? Hey, would you get in the middle, get in the side, or you're going to jail? You just told me that,
I
dude.
never told you you're going to jail. Bro, what do you assume that?
All right, bro. So I make shit up. I'm crazy. I just make shit up like that? Nah, bro.
I don't know why you even went there because I never went there with you.
And I want to disengage this conversation because this is going merry-go-rounds, bro. You're dismissed, bro.
Listen,
Bye-bye.
No, take care of yourself.
Bye-bye.
Was that
You're
you?
dismissed.
Take care, bro.
You're dismissed.
Take care.
Get back to work. Don't forget to buckle up.
Take care.
Do your turn signals and keep doing what you're doing.
Take care of yourself.
Your job is not to argue with a man with a camera.
Take care of yourself.
I'm always taking care of myself. You take care of yourself.
Take care, bro.
Don't violate people's rights, bro. Like you try to violate mine.
As it was evident that the man was not moved by his threats and orders, anger began to creep up on the policeman's face. The man remained cool and asked him which of his ostensible authority was he using to interfere with him, as he finally brought the policeman to admit there was no lawful reason to stop him. Still, the policeman insisted that the man was making things difficult, but actually it was the policeman himself who had escalated the situation from the beginning. The man had nothing on him that the cop could attach any significant weight to. Eventually, he ended letting him go. This interaction brought out the problem that arises in case of officers getting overboard in their abuse of power, more so where the citizens are knowledgeable about their rights. From beginning to end, this conversation only serves to remind everyone that somehow control must be wielded with respect and responsibility, and not with threats and injustice. That quiet but relentless questioning of what the policeman was doing helped turn the situation around, and the cop wisely did not dig in on an indefensible position. It is in such accounts, when the officers forget their prime duty of being a protector and a servant to the masses, by letting ego take over their heads, that we witness unwarranted confrontations and abuse of power. Such accounts remind us of how important it is for citizens to hold their rights, and vice versa, for officers to respect them. Time and again, we see arrogance and the thirst for control backfire on those who wear the badge. What it all boils down to is that power must be wielded responsibly, transparently, and justly. When it is not, then the truth will emerge victorious, and those fighting for justice are heard. These incidents also reveal a deeper issue at hand with law enforcement: a lack of accountability and better training. In this case, When officers are more concerned with asserting dominance rather than dispensing justice, trust between the police and the public diminishes. It's an important thing to recall that the power to do something is balanced by the responsibility to do it under the law and not over it. A balance is also kept in check by responsible citizens who are proactive about knowing their rights. However, such responsibility falls within the system that should hold officers accountable for what they do. Only then can we hope to rebuild some trust, so very often lost in situations like these.